Hi, I'm Nate Wayford. I'm your masculinity and mindset coach. Today, I'm going to talk about the difference between an authentic alpha male and a male with a false or fake frame. And for women, they're going to see the difference. So it's important for you, if you wish to attract more higher quality women in your life, that you become the ultimate high value man, the alpha man, as opposed to the false framed man. Now, the ultimate difference is whether you have an internal frame of reference or not. So, a true alpha man decides how he's going to respond to the world. He knows his value. He doesn't seek value outside of himself. Therefore, his behaviors aren't validation seeking. He's not doing it to win approval or favor from someone external. He already values himself. He knows himself to be a high value man. A false framed man will put on a bravado, a performance, an act in some capacity to gain power over another, or to gain validation and accept by gaining power over another. Now, he tries to exert his dominance unnecessarily, right, to try and diminish others. That is not a strong framed man. A framed man knows his value, but he'll also seek to raise up the people around him. He will, if contested, he absolutely has the capability to defend himself, to protect himself, but he won't unduly or overtly seek to demonstrate his power over another, right? He'll just go ahead being the dominant force in his reality, going about his way to create his ideal life and providing for his woman if he has a woman in his life. So the false frame man is externally referenced because he's constantly trying to prove his worth to another. He doesn't fully believe it himself. His identity is not built in a strong way. So he has a very weak internal frame of reference. Now, he may be a dominant person in terms of the way that he impresses upon others, but there's some part of him that still doesn't believe that he's deserving of it, worthy of it, or that he truly values himself. One of the ways that you really want to accomplish that, if you are just say a somewhat dominant man that doesn't really truly believe in himself, but you have matured enough where you don't need to try and exert your will over another. You can invite people into the trajectory of the path you're on as an alternative. You go about healing that wound of seeking to have power over another or seeking to gain acceptance, approval for another by doing the inner work, by healing your inner child. Now, often if you didn't get the approval from your father, you'll go out of your way to prove it later, to gain power over another man. If you in some way have an internal childhood wound where you didn't get the love and acceptance that you want, then you might go out of your way to try and gain that acceptance from others. So the best way to go about remedying this and becoming a true, authentic, high-value man and dominant man in an alpha capacity is by having your discipline rituals, which I often talk about, the discipline self-care, but also doing the healing work, especially with your inner child, and especially with subconscious programming, with a qualified coach, just like myself, who is capable of resolving childhood traumas and really getting to the very origin of where you gave away your power or bought into the illusion that the power wasn't always inside of you. You can also reclaim your aggression, reclaim your, and integrate the primal nature such that you feel safe in yourself and you don't feel a need to try and exert your will on others to gain that sense of power or safety. You just have it inside of you. You don't need to reach for it anymore. Once you do this, men will respect you more, not from fear, but from your desire to lift yourself up and those around you. Women will see that and observe that. It's highly attractive. When a man is surrounded by empowered men that are lifting each other up, a woman can see that that man is respected, and that will raise your value also. So you become the dominant alpha when you're the dominant force of creation in your reality, but you use that in alignment with your path and purpose to invite others to join you in raising each other up. That's the authentic way to become an alpha man, is you become the alpha because you are best able to protect, provide, and serve the people who are close to you and those that are aligned with you in your trajectory in life. Now, I hope this helps. If you have any other questions on becoming more dominant, becoming an alpha man in an authentic capacity, if you have questions on how to overcome the childhood wounds and traumas that might be plaguing you still, then I encourage you to join the Sovereign Brotherhood community. We've got a bunch of resources in there, including the Sovereign Power Program, masculinity guides, rising rituals, which will help you to develop your masculine frame over time and build up your esteem and confidence to become that dominant man that you desire to become. I encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you found this valuable, and share it with your brother who might need to receive this message also. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.